Hello and welcome to Justice. I'm Judge Jeanine Pirro. Tonight, all the action and headliners from CPAC. Which presidential hopeful stole the show, and Ambassador John Bolton on why he told CPAC President Obama is the country's biggest security crisis. But first, to my open. Any first-year law student understands a contract is an agreement, a meeting of the minds between the parties. If fraud is underlying the contract, it is null and void, invalidated, not enforced. The question: did Barack Obama lie his way into the White House? And if so, has a fraud been committed against you? And does it even matter? It was during a very heated campaign in 2012 that President Obama and his sycophants sold us that bill of goods about a flash mob and a hateful video causing the massacre of 4 Americans, including the president's personal appointee in Benghazi, Ambassador Chris Stevens. That was a lie, and they knew it was a lie. And then another lie, Obamacare. The president swears that we can keep our doctors and our health care plans if we like them. The fraud continued when President Obama, belittled then-candidate Mitt Romney.
When you were asked what's the biggest geopolitical threat facing America, you said Russia. Not Al-Qaeda, you said Russia. In the 1980s are now calling to ask for their foreign policy back because, the Cold War's been over for 20 years.
Wait a minute. First of all, are you saying that he should have said that it was Al-Qaeda? How could it be, since you said yourself you decimated them with the killing of that old geezer, Osama bin Laden? But what's that? Now, maybe Mitt Romney was right.
You mentioned the Navy, for example, and that we have fewer ships than we did in 1916. Well, Governor, we also have fewer horses and bayonets because the nature of our military's changed. We have these things called aircraft carriers where planes land on them. We have these ships that go underwater, nuclear submarines. And so the question is not a game of battleship where we're counting ships. It's what are our capabilities?
And you didn't just lie to us, you proved your complete lack of knowledge on the world stage. Horses and bayonets? Maybe Mitt wasn't so far off. You're looking to take us back to pre-World War II capabilities. The truth? Your mission is to minimize United States exceptionalism on the world stage. You unilaterally take down the missile defense system in Europe with nothing in return from Putin. And when you never avenged the deaths of Americans in Benghazi, your message was clear. Let's just move on. It's embarrassing to watch you on the world stage as Putin outsmarts you at every turn. You angle for a fight with him and threaten him with costs, and he still does whatever he wants. You talk about legal interpretations?
I know President Putin seems to have a different set of lawyers making a different set of interpretations, but I don't think that's fooling anybody.
I'll tell you who it looks like got fooled here. While you're on the phone, Putin was moving his tanks and troops into Ukraine and Crimea, as your secretary, John Kerry, says he understands there are no Russian troops in Ukraine. Are you guys blind, too? And while you talk sanctions, Putin says he's going to turn off the oil. That ought to do wonders for the price. Here's the problem. President Putin has a vision of Russian exceptionalism, and you trash American exceptionalism. You don't believe that we Americans are exceptional, and day by day, you do everything in your power to make sure that we are not. So does the truth matter? Some people don't think it does.
I also came to issue a warning. If our movement is primarily anti-Obama, we will in fact reduce the number of victories we should win this fall. If we spend the next 3 years being primarily anti-Hillary, we will virtually guarantee her election.
Really, Newt? Not to be negative? Were you around when George Bush was president and the Dems did a daily dance on his head? And when someone lies to you, Newt, what do? Just let it go? I've got news for you. We're not willing to let the lies go. John Bolton, though, got it right at CPAC.
We meet in a time of true national security crisis, indeed many crises. But our biggest national security crisis is Barack Obama.
And here's Rick Perry.
We don't have to accept recent history. We just need to change the presidency. It's not too late for America to lead in the world, but it starts by leading at home.
It is too late for you, Mr. President. I'm sure you've heard that those who fail to learn the lessons of history are doomed to repeat it. Appeasement does not work. Making nice does not work. What works is peace through strength.
Indeed, the United States will stand with the international community in affirming that there will be costs for any military intervention in Ukraine.
And as the world turns, Russia reclaims more and more territory. Newsflash, Mr. President, the international community is not with you. So where's the UN for all your big talk? Where's NATO for all your big talk? I have an idea. Why don't you just put your sticks down and come home from Key Largo and do something for us? Mr. President, you lied to get here. You've been outsmarted, outclassed, and outpunched by a KGB tough guy. And as far as I'm concerned, this contract is null and void. And that's my open. Coming up, he told CPAC our country's biggest national security crisis is none other than the guy who lives in the big White House. Ambassador John Bolton is next. And vote in tonight's Instapoll. CPAC straw polls results are in. We'll reveal the winner after the break. But who do you want to run for president in 2016? Facebook or tweet me at Judge Jeanine.